Okay, there it is. There it is. That's what I was looking for.
Your title is great.
What's the title?
We're gonna put Merch Fairy and Hustler Hacks, but we put Glen and Ken, maybe Yong.
We'll get Anthony on here in the chat. All right.
All right, here we go.
Maybe Yong. That's funny. How's your guys' day going?
My day is slow. Other than that, everything is good.
Yeah, everything's good. I was trying to finish up all these uploads. Matt's trying to invite me to do a live.
I'm trying to figure out how to use my mic without breaking it.
I haven't done uploads in weeks.
I've got to get some uploads done tonight. I haven't done anything yet either.
4,000 or 5,000 shirts I got to put up.
Everyone's 4,000 or 5,000 shirts you got to put up. wait a little bit. People are joining right now so they can hear that. Everybody's coming in right now. Ken, if you want to look at the chat, you can. Here, let me send this to you.
Where's the chat for this?
I'll give it to you right now. Just press pause on your end. It's on YouTube, so just press pause on the video and then.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll get feedback.
Where's the actual? There we go. You started, Robert?
And this will show you the chat, will it?
Yep.
Dang, I paused it on Matt's ugly mug.
That was a mistake. You should turn it back on. Get RJ's pretty face on there.
You guys see, guys are making me scoot back now. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's post it everywhere. Spamming.
Are you watching it?
Yeah, on delay, but.
Did I share it? No, I didn't share it. I shared it on my Facebook group too. Mine in my personal. All right, so we like to start off with the numbers, the weekly numbers. So, Ken, if you don't want to share, you don't have to. But if you want to share for inspiration, you can. So the last 7 days, I sold 220 shirts at $1,045.67 in profit.
You're significantly better than me. My last 7 days have been very slow. We did 95 for $352.77. And Ken's going to make us both look silly.
What's that?
Drum roll.
I should be closing in over 500 right in the next hour for a 7 day.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right. So we had Ken hop on the show, last minute notice. I wanted to give him a better introduction, of course, but we can do that.
Let's let Ken give himself an introduction. Just for those of you that don't know who Ken is, where'd you get your start in merch? How long you've been doing it?
It's an interesting story. I actually started in the oil field of Alberta and managed there for about 14 years. Basically a haz waste expert. And through a seriously messed up set of events, I ended up in Las Vegas from Alberta, Canada, and bought a sign company, and I've run a sign company for the last 14 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I did apparel and things like that on the side I've got my own screen printers that I do work with, wholesale apparels, things like that. And then on the side at night, I started posting things on Teespring and some of these other PODs. And lo and behold, I came across merch, and I signed up right at the beginning back in 2015. And my story is I didn't give it much thought. It was probably December. I actually, have you heard the story? I almost didn't continue with merch.
Yeah. Yeah, because you were having a problem with uploading, right?
My designs were 1 pixel off.
Yeah.
They're 1 pixel too big. And I actually had it out with merch support in the early days. I was just telling them how bad their program was. And finally, I had a nice guy at support. He says, now, and he's basically said this, I should dig up the email. He's like, just take a minute and check your size. Make sure it's exactly that size. So I went and checked, and sure enough, it uploaded. But I was ready to walk away. And then sometime in December, I get a $12 payment. And so I upped a few more. And then I get a $30 payment. So I upped a few more. And before you know it, I'm doing 100, 200, 300 a month. And then I took notice. And, 2016, I pushed it pretty hard. In 17, I pushed it even harder, branching out into some things like licensing and things like that. And networking. Me and Chris used to fight all the time. That's a little bit of a history. He bat me around like a cat and a mouse, and one day I shook his hand, and a whole new world opened up for me in merch, and it's been exciting. It's been fun.
Interesting story. So okay, yeah, that's pretty amazing. So you already had the background in designing and stuff like that already, right? Correct?
Yeah, coming into this to do t-shirts, it wasn't a hard thing. And that's part of it. I enjoy it. And merch just turned it into a hobby. So, I mean, I can spend 10, 12, 15, 16 hours a day doing merch and, upload 1,000 shirts over 2 days and be slammed, but be totally content with what I'm doing, just as happy as any other hobby I have. So it's kind of turned a job into something I really enjoy. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't complain at that. So
no, absolutely. It makes a huge difference. It's always different too. You're always doing something that's, something that's different. You're not necessarily doing the same thing day after day after day, even though you're working in the same business.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So also too, Glen's gonna hop in at 6:30. So if you don't mind staying on, Ken.
Yeah, I'll hang out. They can ask us questions, whatever they need.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. Okay. I don't even know where to start at. Okay.
Start.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're going to jump on me? All right. So the reason we brought Ken on is there is obviously a lot of talk about Merch Dojo in the groups. There's been a couple of dumpster fires of threads today. So I decided, I'd reach out to Ken because I know we have a little bit of a relationship, and just basically bring him on and allow somebody that actually knows what's in the Merch Dojo, who's involved in it, tell you guys what it's about. Because I know we're going to get these questions tonight. It's going to be full of it tonight. So I figured I'd rather just go to the source.
What's Merch Dojo?
What's Merch Dojo?
You know what? It's a mix of marketing, but the underlying basis of Merch Dojo is, you've got an outside audience. Merch is unheard of in most areas. I know we're in our little Facebook communities, and we talk merch, we eat merch, we drink merch, we sleep merch. I mean, it's all we do, it seems. And to some point, you think some of us need to be sent off to Addiction as Anonymous or something. But outside the world of our Facebook groups and the discussion of merch, not a lot of people know about it. If you've ever been to a trade show or a licensing show or something like that, you go talk to people. 9 out of 10 have no clue what merch even stands for or what they do. And I think the audience that you're looking at is a whole new wave of content creator. There's designers and artists and experts in the t-shirt business that, when they latch on to something like a Merch by Amazon, I think a lot of the people that are currently in merch that are kind of, veterans or been around a while, there's going to be a wave coming, and the competition's going to get stiff. And if your designs aren't up to snuff, if they're not top notch, if you haven't figured out keywording, if you haven't done a lot of these things, branding yourself out, searching out all these different ways in which to build your merch program or build your brand on the print on demand type of an atmosphere, I think there's some people that are going to get caught in the wave. And I saw that with some of the early success, even in merch. is some people just did raving numbers. They did amazing. And a few of us sat back and said, you know what? They're kind of riding the wave of the ocean on a surfboard, but there's a whole bunch of other surfers behind them. And some of those people, I've seen them crash into the waves and they're no longer around. Mm-hmm. And people have been overtaken. And so how this leads into the whole Merch Dojo thing, and okay, you know what? The guys that are putting it on, they're marketing. I mean, they know how to market, and marketing, why do you do it? Because marketing works. But when you look at our crowd within the merch community, you know what? You're going to get a lot of naysayers, and you take the lumps with it. But the content of the course itself is really focused on this whole new batch of an audience that have no understanding of what merch is, and it takes you from the nuts and bolts of, you know, how do I even apply for an account, to what are tiers, what are terms of service, how to find a designer, how to do a design, how to list a design. And it's 4 weeks from those types of simple things that would bore the heck out of us, right up to things like hiring VAs, licensing, expanding your brand, looking at other PODs. A lot of these things, if we back up to the first time you listed a shirt, would be completely Greek to us. We'd have no understanding of what those terms mean. And it gives you a little different perspective on it. And Merch Dojo, I'll be open. Myself, Neil Lawson, there's a number of people that are actually the modules of it. And I don't think that was really put out there as to who's doing some of the teaching. Right. And who is actually the people that you get to reach out with and now associate with in a private group with direct access to these people. All you saw was the face of Brian and Chris, and you don't understand who's actually teaching.
See, that was a big thing too, though. That was like they're like Chris and was it Brian? Brian? Okay. Yeah. They were like who's Brian? Who's that person? Like, or just come out of nowhere and just hop. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Who is that guy? Like, he just hopped into the merch game and all of a sudden he knows everything. That's what everybody was saying. But then I'm like, okay, Ken and Neil are in there too, though. No one knows that. That's the big thing. No one knows that. And I'm just like, okay, once you hear your name and then Neil's name, it's like that's a different ball game. That's a whole different story. So.
You know, and there's modules that me and Neil, I mean, we've been doing this for days. I mean, talking to ourselves against the screen and bringing out some of this and the basic info that people, I see the comments. It's like, oh, well, I'm not going to pay anything. I can go to any of the groups and I can put in the search term and all the info is there. Yeah, you know what? It is.
Yeah, but they won't do that. Like we see that every freaking day.
Me and you can go find that info within minutes. But I want to back you up and say, if you had never heard of merch, if you had never heard of shirts, if you've never heard of any of this, that's all Greek to you. It's a totally different language, and people aren't going to be able to figure it out. And some people will want to pay to be able to get that information bundled and be able to say, hey, who can I talk to and get a question right now? Well, you know what? I'll tell you right now, me and Neil and some of the others, we'll go answer those questions first. Because time is money, and you know I've spent thousands of hours working on merch. It's not easy. I think some people get the perspective from the Merch Dojo stuff that, oh, this is easy money. Well, there's some underlying to that it's not just easy money, but is it a passive income stream? Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't uploaded my account for 4 to 6 weeks. Sales are still rolling in and actually increasing. I might do a couple of edits, but I haven't clambered down and done my 500 uploads. I haven't even done one. So there gets to a point that there is some validity to it. You build a brand and you build a foundation on merch, and there is a pretty good passive stream there. You can argue with me all you want, but my bank account looks pretty good at the end of the day, and a lot of it's pretty passive. So
that's kind of like your strategy then. So like you have like 3,000, 4,000, well, you said 5,000 designs, and then you'll upload them like all of them in one day, or how do you do that? Like, how do you go about stuff like that?
I've got about 8,000 live right now. I had just over 1,000 fall off, but I've been stocking up. I mean, there's a lot of ways that I'm able to get designs, and I think I'm sitting on close to probably 4,000 designs that I need to upload, and I've been putting it off because I've been dealing with some other stuff. Dojo is just one of the things, you know, recording some videos and doing interviews and things like that. But I got a this has turned into just a huge thing, and our whole family are merchers too. That's the other thing. My wife has actually uploaded more to her account probably in the last 2 weeks than I've even looked at with my account. Heck, my son's probably uploaded more than me, and he's 14. So
she's gonna pass you up, huh?
But I mean, it's all in perspective, and you know what? I'm pretty level-headed on some of this, and you take it in stride. But you know what? There's some people that are going to get some real value out of it, and the list of bonuses. Yeah, you know what? Oh, this is worth $5,000. Well, why are you selling it for 500 or 600? Well, you know what? Through time, things have value, and you can start bundling these things. And it's kind of like make merch. There's a good example. What's the argument you see with make merch? Well, why would you ever pay $40 a month for make merch? Just go get Adobe Photoshop. Okay. Well, if you've never designed a shirt, put that in front of somebody or put make merch in front of somebody. Tell me which $40 is a better value. And the same thing goes with some of these courses. Perceived value of what a course costs comes down to, what, do I want to spend 300 hours searching on Google and figure this out for myself, or do I want somebody to walk me through it? And some are going to go with it and some won't, so that's.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest complaint I've seen in the groups has to do with mostly the message that we saw from Brian and Chris, the perception that it was easy.
Yeah.
And I understand that Brian is a marketer and Chris is a marketer. I felt more like Brian's marketing to me than Chris's, I'll be honest with you. But that was the biggest complaint that I saw overall, which, sometimes I can see where people are coming from there. It's
of course, it's kind of like the comment about Kim. Why would you bring in Kim with her clip shirt? And she's no student, and she didn't make $40,000 off of learning anything from this. Well, if you actually understood Kim, she's had a long-term relationship with Chris and has followed a lot of the things and the advice Chris has given her, and has a day-to-day chat going on. I mean, where do some of these people get their advice? It's not in the Facebook groups. It's because they have a network group of saying, hey, I've got this question. I'm going to go ask Ken.
Right.
And Ken will give me an answer in the next 2 minutes. But that's part of climbing up the network tree. And, when some of these great things happen, that's just simply the way it is. I mean, I'm in a couple of network groups with you guys. You know how I am in some of those groups. I'm much different than I am in some of the public Facebook groups.
Yeah.
I mean, it's black and white. So.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just a matter of scale too, right? Like you've got 8,000 voices calling you in Facebook versus 20.
Yeah, it's something else. And I'll tell you, if you're not doing the networking, I've caught a couple of people here. The last Ask Me Anything I did, I said, networking is key, even with merch. And if you haven't realized that, start reaching out even to some of these big names that you might see in merch, and just drop them a message and say, hey, I got a simple question. Not give me a template. Not give me the way you did it, but ask me a question and go do the work yourself, and I'll help you out with that. But don't ask me for a template, because if you want a template and me to write it out for you, go sign up for the course and I'll give you all the time you want. And that's the way it works. So
how about your niches? Can you tell us all your niches?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you a whole list. No, I'll tell you what my niches are. The things that I enjoy.
Okay.
Things that interest me, that turns into my niche, because I'll tend to go learn about it. I'll dive into it. I'll learn about the colors. I'll learn, it'll be something that I'll actually go down and buy because I want to be part of it. It's a hobby. It's a job. It's an interest. And so you have a better understanding of a niche when you go into it, rather than I need to go attack these 50 niches and I need a VA to make me designs for all these 50. And half the time your colors are wrong. Your design is wrong. This is something that's really cool. Do you know Jose Fernandez?
Yeah.
Probably seen. He works full time in the industry. I mean, he sits all day long and designs for people like Target and Walmart and the Kohl's, and they have the trend software in front of them that they pay thousands of dollars for. Well, he comes home from work and he already knows the color Walmart wants for the shirt. They know the color of the designs. They know what's trending with teens. They know what's trending with adults. But that gives you such a perspective when you hit a niche, if you understand that. And people need to understand it that way. There's certain niches I go into, I look at the designs, I say, yeah, somebody's going to look at that and say, what a complete noob. They don't even understand what the lingo is. And So if niches, that's what it comes down to. Stuff that I enjoy and you can do well at. So
interesting. That's Jose. He's the one that told me, he's the first one that told me to actually design out like 90 days out. Start designing 90 days out for a trend, because I know he attacks trends pretty good too. Because he'll have like 200 live shirts and 100 sales in a day. I'm like, how you do that?
But see, now you got a guy that is very good at that. He's going to be killer when he starts hiring some VAs. I saw him mention, I got to start outsourcing. Oh boy, you get him outsourcing and he's going to be like the art director, and he's going to be like the trend director. And this is what I'm warning people about, is don't sit on your laurels right now. There's some work. And yeah, that goes against the dojo thing, passive. No, there's some work to get to that point. But realistically, how hard did you work for your first $1,000 on merch? How hard did you work in the sun or sling a shovel to make that money versus a typical job? I mean, some people will hit a trend, some will hit a holiday, and boom, in comes the cash. Some will work on their niches. They'll work on a Facebook group. They'll work on Instagram. They'll go get an influencer. I mean, the one example, there's people doing 7 figures. And then they say, well, that's not true because I never saw their shirts on the BSR. You know why? Because they're doing it on private links, their own marketing. These real things are happening. Do you think his $1 million in shirts is going to take up print capacity over your St. Patrick's Day Drunk Lives Matter shirt? Hell yeah, it is. These are concepts that people have to understand and start to grasp, because the wave is coming into the shore and you're just going to get swept away. It's going to get big. Merch will get big. International, new products, all these fun things, and they're going through growing pains. They're like an alpha company, but people will get swept away if they're not holding on to the train handle. So somebody said, do I make shirts for holidays? I do, but I suck at holidays.
That's pretty interesting. That's good stuff right there. So
here's a concept about holidays though, and trends. If you're not putting your hook in the water, you're not going to hit the Powerball.
I do too.
Right? I can strike out all day long at holidays and trends, but I'm still going to put up 10 or 20% of my shirts are going to be holidays and trends, because every so often somebody throws out an Eclipse shirt or a trend hits and blows up, and millionaires are made off of trend shirts, off of single shirts. That's something to realize. That's a very true reality. So.
Okay, how many, if you don't mind me asking, how many products have you sold all time on your account, if you don't mind?
I showed that this morning on the little video.
Oh, you did?
On this account, 40,000.
40,000. He has like 6 more accounts, everybody. So
no, not necessarily. But there are some things that I won't talk about that are very real within merch. And all you got to go do is go take a look at Neil deGrasse Tyson.
All right, and then
go look at Shane Dawson's listings, and go look and see if you see any things that says design by, and it'll give you an idea to some of the other stuff going on in merch.
Okay, interesting. So go do design by. Okay, so what's your pricing? Like, what's your pricing strategy? Like, do you have any?
I'm high. I'm high. I go in high. I tend to hit niches at a higher price point because I think that I'm going in with better designs. I can match their keywords, but I'll go in with better designs and beat them at their own niche. I'm not a low baller. Even if something's going to fall off, I'm not going to drop it to $13 just to get a sale. I'll let it drop and put a new fresh listing up. So.
Okay.
You see Yong's in the chat. Wanted you to send him a link, RJ?
Where's he at? Let's see. Let's get him in here.
I don't want to talk to Yong.
I know he might get us all sick.
Yong's my bud.
Got them cookies.
Let me get him.
Were there any questions there they were talking about that people wanted? Or?
Mary had a question. She was talking about her sales have been down. Hasn't been working merch, but other PODs. But she asked, do you recommend updating or refreshing our listings?
I do it all the time. Since the beginning, I've done it. I'll look at my keywords. I'll freshen things up. I'll cut things down. I'll change titles. I'll go through entire niches and just change all the keywords.
So what makes you do that, though? Like, what do you see? What do you see that makes you want to change a keyword or refresh a listing if you don't?
I'm trying to evaluate now if there's as much of a benefit. I still feel there's a benefit. Some people say, oh, there's no freshness thing. I still tend to believe there is a freshness thing. Everybody gets a chance at the page one, and you have to be able to show up with the contrast of your design. If people aren't going to click when Amazon actually shows your shirt, then you're going to go back to page 50. But I think there's still some beauty in changing your brand and changing your keywords. You know, maybe take a whole niche and focus it off to another set of keywords. And people ask about keywords. Keywords take me no more than maybe 5 minutes to write up for a niche for 100 shirts. Very simple. I go after 3 or 4 main keywords, and it's worked for me so far, hasn't it?
Yeah. And then as far as the keywords too, like, so how do you, let's say, how would you go after like a low?
Let me give you this affiliate link. It's called Merch Dojo. No. I'll share everything with you there. No. So how do I go after keywords?
Hey guys, this is Merch Dojo for free, everybody. So if you guys want this, right, just listen in.
How do I go for keywords? You're asking, right?
Yeah, how would you go for keywords if you don't mind me asking?
Just knowledge of the niche, and honestly, the auto filler on Amazon. I don't use merchant words. I really don't even go search my words on Merchant Former. You know, Neil will hear that and slam me. But I don't know. I go do stuff that I enjoy and that I know, and I already know what the keywords are. I think like a buyer. You know, what would a buyer type in? And then, of course, you've got your long tail stuff. Like somebody's going to see a shirt and see a phrase and say, oh, I got to go find that phrase. But, you know, slide that one into your bullets. For the most part, you're looking at 3 or 4 different keywords. So,
right. We got Yong and Glen in the house right now. Welcome, guys.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up, man? What's going on, man?
Nothing much. You got the All-Star, you got Kenny in here.
We got Ken, Sifu Ken.
Young Real, I heard you're my son now.
Hey, dude.
Coming for a this weekend?
You know what? I think we do somewhat resemble each other, right? We have eyes, we have a nose, and a mouth. So, yeah.
I took Ancestry.com. I've got some Asian background in me.
I knew it.
You guys are both gigantic smartasses. I mean, it's gotta be family.
My mom's been denying it for all these years, but the truth comes out. Yeah. Hey, by the way, man, I'm sorry for I have to apologize, man. Dude, my allergies are really bad right now, so I almost didn't even make it on the show.
They're trying to figure out where's your picture at. Everybody's like, where you at?
It's like a picture from like the 80s. Look how young this guy was.
Oh yeah, that's a good-looking guy. I didn't even realize that.
Good choice, Young. Good choice. Put the best face forward.
Thank you. Thank you. But what's going on, man?
First minute into the show, Glen. No, man, just chilling. Over here, picking Ken's brain about their merch dojo and just trying to shed some good light on it. Make sure there's enough negativity going on today. There's email negativity. There's
whatever.
Facebook group negativity, and just trying to knock that out the way and just.
Yeah, you know what? I just just one thing about that is and I was telling you guys in the chat, if you guys don't like being marketed to, just don't even leave your house, right? Because no, seriously, if you think about it, we're being marketed to every freaking day, right? From the point that we wake up when we commute, we're constantly being marketed to. So if you guys don't like being marketed to, just don't leave the house. Just stay in your house, stay in your room, and just stay there.
Don't turn on your Pandora for free, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just, gosh, there's some of these comments and the things that I read online. It's just like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But how are you guys doing as far as numbers? I think my numbers are making a comeback. This is like my first time that I went over 100 shirts in the last 7 days since St. Patty's Day.
Have you filled your slots yet, Young?
Oh, dude, you always give me crap about that.
Why? Dude,
every time.
My sales are low. Well, fill your slots.
No, I'm hey, you know what? I've been good though, Dad, because I have been filling in my slots.
Probably laying down in bed right now. That's why you're not on the camera, huh?
Hey, I wish I was in bed right now, man.
Get your Hello Kitty blanket on.
See, there you go. Spreading rumors.
No,
But yeah,
okay.
man, I think my numbers are going back up slightly. So things are looking good.
That's good.
Yeah.
You want to hit us with the last 7 days if you don't mind?
Oh yeah, it's you know what? I would have to log in. So if you just bear with me, then talk to Glenn for a second.
What's up, guys?
Come over, taking over already. Okay, what's up, Glenn? So I already said my last 7 days earlier in the show. So if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Mine's 2,900. I just looked at it.
Okay.
I'm putting the pressure on Glen and Yong now.
All right,
come on, boys.
Welcome to the show.
Oh,
Joe.
What up? I got 6,000 in royalties last 7 days. So what are your numbers?
Right.
So my last 7 days is 103 for an estimated royalty of 518.
Nice.
Get that money.
I'm trying to be like my dad here.
All right, let's let Glenn speak up.
Same thing. Mine's like at 503. So yeah, we were last time we talked on the podcast, I know Yong took like a huge hit. Mine dropped, and then now we're like trying to get back up there again. So yeah, I'm like the 500 royalties for the last 7 days.
Cool. And also too, recently you just like 2 months ago, you probably hit 100K in royalties all time too, is right?
Yeah, I went over that. So I'm like, yeah, a little bit over that, maybe like 110,000, I guess, since I joined. And yeah, the numbers have been kind of going down a little bit. So I'm trying to just keep them steady. So we'll see.
But, yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Hey, you know what? Now that we have Ken and Glen on the show together, Glen swears that when he got suspended, it had to do with an IP address issue. Do you believe that's the case?
I don't know the particulars of his IP addresses.
See, I think Glen was making Black Panther shirts. That's what I think.
Or Dilly.
See, so somebody here is lying here.
Meowika shirts. Is that the one? Meowika?
Meowika. What is that?
That was our boy.
It's an old joke.
Yeah, we won't bring up names, but there was a long thread last year around Meowika. If you guys look it up in the big thread.
Oh no! I remember now. I remember.
I'll ask.
Yeah, ask because Glen swears, and this is all jokes aside, Glen and I trust Glen, right? Mm-hmm. But Glen absolutely swears like it has nothing to do with his designs, but something to do with the IP address.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have heard this from me already. I mean, the number one danger they said to put out to the community is the danger of using VAs. And that's not to say VAs are banned, like everybody reads the TOS and, I can't have a VA. No, it's not that. It's the danger of using designs from VAs. And I've seen it. People are getting stung because they don't check what the VA gives them and it goes up. So I don't know. That's the number one thing. Number two, IPs. I don't see how that can happen unless something really weird's going on, because, I mean, it's definitely not a case of multi-use IPs, because, I mean, we got 5 different accounts in the house here and everybody's logging in on the same computers back and forth. And, whether it's a VA that might have logged in from the Philippines for you versus the US, I don't know.
But Glen doesn't use a VA. He's a one-man operation like I am. So
yeah, so
I don't know. I think Glen was doing some shady stuff. I think he needs to come clean.
He needs to come clean in front of us. He's wearing a Black Panther shirt, isn't he?
He is.
No, I'll ask. I mean, it's a simple question. I talked to the content policy and ask the question and say, have you seen IP terminations? So,
okay.
Interesting.
I might have some answers. Did anybody see the post in Chris's big group the other day? I asked a question about if you could ask one question to merch, what would it be?
Well, you got my response to that, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
If you haven't gone there, go over there and post what it is, because I'm going to go through and make kind of a hit list, top list.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pose those questions, and I've been told that I can get some answers. So
Cool.
All right. Well, Glenn. So what do you like? We have a design background. You want to tell us a little bit about you? We kind of know a little bit about Yong already. He already took over the show for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yong's pretty much taking up all the airwaves. So let's let Glenn talk.
You guys interviewed him already in the past, and then now he's back. So yeah, I have a YouTube channel, Hustler Hacks, and started on merch probably like 3 months in. I didn't upload anything because I was like Q4 mode, like, you know, FBA, trying to, you know, get a bunch of you know, toys and all that for Christmas time. So and then once January hit, I was like into merch mode, and then started off, made like a first $100, and then like 300, and then it started just kind of growing from there. And yeah, so me and Yong, Merch Minds podcast, we started that. I think well, Yong came to El Paso in a rare occasion, and he was like, I told him about merch, and you know, he hadn't heard about it or really was like kind of interested in it. And then I was telling him like the money I was making, and all of a sudden Yong was like all in. So then Yong was like, oh yeah, let me get in this. And then he started making shirts, all that. So I have a design background, went to school for graphic design, and yeah, I hadn't really gotten into any other like print on demand like platforms. Like, you know, I heard about Redbubble and some of the other ones, but with merch, it's just like, yeah, this opportunity is like too good to be true. You know, just all the traffic Amazon has, and then everything they're providing, and then you're pretty much using, you know, their, you know, crazy expensive printers. So yeah, it's been good ever since. So
yeah, that's pretty amazing, because once you like, well, when I first came on the scene, like I heard about you too as well. I was like, I looked at your YouTube channel, and it's a pretty entertaining channel. It's like one of the best channels out there, in my personal opinion, because you put content every single day. You're showing people how you're hustling, multiple streams of income, and you're just showing people like how you're doing it. So it's like one of the realest YouTube channels out there. So I'll give you props for that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I gotta like, I'm still selling on eBay. So even though I was like doing good on merch, I didn't quit like the whole eBay side, because you know, having multiple streams, so making money from YouTube, eBay, merch, and then I help out my family business. So it's kind of like a mixture of all of them. And yeah, I like doing them. So I was like, I'm not going to just, you know, quit just because merch is doing well. I just wanted to keep it going and, you know, teach people on eBay too.
Nice. That's what's up. How about you, Yong? How's it going over there?
Struggling. Struggling.
Put down the wine.
Put down the wine. Did you get our Airbnb yet?
Hey, you shut your damn mouth, okay? This dude. Hey, let me tell you something, man. We're supposed to do that California meetup next weekend, and RJ reaches out to me, and I was like, "Yo, man, let's get an Airbnb." I'm like, "Let's do it." And then he's like, "Oh, I can't stay 2 nights." I'm like, "What? You think I'm gonna go down there for like just 1 day or something, man? I'm gonna go down there for like 2 nights, man. Let's get an Airbnb together."
All right. Okay. Well, I will stay the 2 nights just because you showed up. All right. We'll get on. We'll do it.
For real? All right.
When are you guys coming to Vegas?
Well, for sure we'll be there in May. I know that.
I'm coming in May too as well. Yeah, I'll be there in May.
Cool.
What's in May?
No, just a get together in Vegas.
Yong's here. Be quiet.
I know.
Oh yeah, I'll be there in May too. So we'll see you guys there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll be there in May.
I'll send you a DM when after this.
Hey, I'll be there in May too, man.
PM me for the details.
All right, so all right, let's Yong, what's going on? Are you seeing the increase in sales and everything? Everything's going good for you?
Yeah, so things are slowly coming back, it seems like, which is good. I don't know if this is just just like a couple of day thing, but it seems like it's coming back up, so that's good. Every day I'm just doing research, I'm designing, I'm outsourcing some of my designs now, so I'm filling up my slots. I'm not filling up like my like the whole 100 slots, but I'm filling up enough to like slowly see some results.
Nice. Okay. And you feel good about outsourcing? Because I know at first you weren't outsourcing at all. But how you're Are you like?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about outsourcing is like I never want to outsource an uploader, right? Because I just don't feel comfortable giving a stranger my account. Like my account is just so valuable to me. I just like I don't mind outsourcing for designs though. So I've been outsourcing for designs. I'm still doing my designs, and spending a lot of time researching. Dude, I'll be at work researching, and that's something I shouldn't be doing, but I do it anyway.
They're paying him the big bucks to do research for merch.
Lock himself in the room and drink wine.
Go get lunch off my brother.
I've done that before. Huh?
Go get lunch off my brother.
That's right, dude. I keep forgetting that your brother works there.
Yeah, he's at Slack.
Yeah, I think I've emailed him one time, and I
completely ignored you. Thought it was spam.
I completely forgot about that, and I was like, I gotta go by and tell him, Uncle, buy me lunch. And he'd be like, what the hell is going on here?
Tell him you got this deal on Merch Dojo.
Yeah, absolutely. Say, hey, buy me. I forgot that your brother's there, Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely have to reach out to him.
Nice. So, Glenn, I know you obviously had the adventure with the suspension earlier this year, and you said you dropped quite a few designs. Have you been able to get some of that back? I know you've got obviously a ton of stuff going on. Like, how do you divide your day up to actually find time to do all the things you do?
So lately, my brother's been helping me with the designs. So he's a graphic designer as well, and I've been paying him. So he's been helping with designs only for like the last month and a half or so. So that's been helping me get a little bit more. So now I'm at like 3,000 designs, a little bit over. That's helped me a little bit. I was doing good on a couple of designs that were, they were kind of like cheesy birthday oriented stuff, but they started selling pretty good for a good while. And then when the suspension happened, then that was like 30 days. So during that time, I was just, focused more on eBay at the time and the channel, I'm trying to get like 6 videos a week. So spending more time like with YouTube and eBay. And then once I came back, then I was like, all right, I can get more of the outsourcing done. So it's more just kind of like, I have certain days that I'll go sourcing for eBay, certain days that I'm going to make sure I get my designs in for merch. And then the YouTube part isn't too hard, especially like live videos. I mean, you don't have to do any edits there. And so that kind of helps a little bit divide that time. But for the most part, yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm like shipping at night or just pretty much all the time. I mean, I like doing all of them. So it doesn't feel like work, but it's pretty cool just e-commerce in general and not having to,
right.
I came from the, job part of just like, yeah, done doing that stuff.
And you're doing 6 videos a week on YouTube, and he's putting out nothing but like good content too. It's like what he found today. So if you guys are trying to start like an eBay business or something like that, that's like the perfect YouTube channel to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he puts me and RJ to shame because like we have a hard time putting out one, or in my case, putting out like one a month.
I will be honest with you too. I try to put out a YouTube video. I'm like, man, fuck this. I can't do that.
So, have you guys done reselling? I think RJ, I think you said you done reselling in the past, right?
Yeah, on FBA and then I drop shipped on eBay.
How about Ken and Matt? Have you guys done any of that in the past?
We got into this whole adventure by selling books. That's how we did it. And then my wife hated it so much that when we found out about merch, we moved on to something else.
Yeah. My first foray into Amazon is merch.
Okay. Yeah, books is kind of difficult because you get heavy after you stack like about 10 of them to start getting really heavy.
Yeah, I don't know. Books is like, I think it's just too much time. A lot of time. But if you like doing it, hey, you like doing it. So
it's a good way in. Like the ROI on books is really good. It's just it's a lot of time.
Yeah, can you guys do me a favor too? Give the video a thumbs up and share it, please. There's 100 people watching, 39 likes. Thank you. Love you.
That one dislike's from Yong, so he takes it back.
No, you know what? If that was me, that'd be the middle finger.
Oh man. So, what's your take on outsourcing, Glenn? Like, how do you feel about that? Because I know also too, like you do really good designs as well. What's your take on that? Like, how do you feel about outsourcing designs and stuff like that?
I mean, me and Yong are pretty much like on the same case when it comes to that stuff because we just appreciate like good design. I mean, if you have a good designer that you can trust and what they're doing, you're making sure you're getting like, original designs. You're not getting copycats, and you can't, or these people aren't delivering. Like I get people that are just like, I've been waiting, 7 days for a design. I got nothing. Now it's like 10 days later. I know where my designer went, or they're not following through with like putting in the full work. So I mean, me and Yong, I mean, we're all for it as long as you have a trusty designer that you've been working with, and also that you're paying them well too. They might give you a good deal, but from time to time they're helping you out. You're giving them little bonuses here and there and appreciating their designs. It's pretty much kind of like we feel about it.
One thing I never understood, why, and I know people have not done this, even though me and Glenn have talked about this on so many channels and just so many times now, is we always tell people reach out to your local university and you can hire students at a cheap rate, and they do really good work because they're trying to build up the portfolio.
Yeah,
but for some reason people just don't do it.
Go to a junior art class, talk to the professor, and go see what students want to license their art for you.
Or even just call the administrative office. Like when I was in college, I used to see flyers all the time in the hallways, and this is something Glenn and I talked about in private. Like I used to see flyers all the time in the hallways, looking for designers, $12 an hour or something like that. But I don't understand. I tell people that all the time, and no one to this day, at least not that I know of, has done that. I'm like, they're good design, good, you get great designers at a great rate, doing original work, but people don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
And that's another thing too with outsourcing. Like, you're not gonna just go to like Fiverr and just randomly find or any type of freelancing website and find like a top designer. You're not gonna find them on the first try. You gotta look for them. It takes
exactly
like a week or so, or even like 2 weeks, just of interviewing people just to figure out who's good and who's not good, or something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, because I got over like 100 applications, and I actually went through all of them, and then I went through like 30 of them, and then I seen one, like I was like, wow, this guy's good right here, and took like a week, me and him going back and forth, and he finally gave in. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, it also depends on what kind of style you're looking for, right? I mean, when I think graphic design, just in general, that's just a general term, right? Like, there's different styles of graphic design, right? There's there's lettering, there's packaging, there's typography. There's so many different elements. Like, what kind of specific style are you looking for, right?
Yeah.
So ask yourself that, and if you want someone who's more of an illustrator, I would say go do that. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like people always trying to do it the cheap route, and I get it, but at the same time, it's like, just do your research. Like, what do you want? Ask yourself that. A good thing would be good example would be what's that guy's name? Manny Panetta that we met in Marcello.
Yeah, Manny.
Right. I was talking to Manny, and he has a design background, and he was saying, he does a lot of packaging, right? Mm-hmm. He was saying that and he showed me some of his stuff, and they're really good stuff. Like, he showed me some of his portfolio, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But he's still trying to get used to the whole T-shirt side of doing design. So it really depends on what you're looking for.
Right. Well, we have 3 graphic designers on here, because both me and RJ are we're amateurs compared to you guys. So what do you guys think makes a good design on merch? Like, if you had to pick a couple of qualities, what really helps a design stand out?
Good question.
Contrast.
I mean, I would say, what was that?
Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just going to say, for sure, I mean, something that's going to, clean, bold, that you can read it. I think a lot of the times people that want to buy something are looking at it through mobile. And if it's something that's, crammed up and you can't even really see what it says or what they're even trying to do on mobile, they're just going to keep on going and scrolling. I mean, what are you going to do to try to get someone's attention? I mean, also just using the right colors, so your shirts aren't lost in the background of the actual T-shirt or something. I've seen a lot of those, and they're just going to get lost in there. No one's really going to, pay attention to it. So I would really think probably like on the mobile side of it, something that's clean, bold, you can read it, and they're really going to get someone's attention because you only have a couple of seconds. They're really going to see it.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because coming from a sign background and the sign business, you need to learn what stands out on the street, what's going to catch an eyeball, and we use what's called the 3-second rule. If you drive up the street, take a look at the signs on the street as you drive now. Ask yourself which signs caught your eye, right? And you got 3 seconds to get the message and make an impulse decision. It's no different on T-shirts with search on Amazon. Have a friend. You get a search result. I tell people this. Get a search result that has 3 or 4 of your shirts on that page. Don't tell your friend which ones they are and have them scroll like a buyer, which takes you 3 or 4 seconds, right? And then have them tell you which 3 or 4 shirts stood out to you. And if your shirts aren't one of those, you fail. Have a few friends do it. Have people that trust do it. I've got a guy at night that I chat with all the time, and I'll throw him my links all the time. And he's gotten to the point now that he knows my style, so he can pick them out. But if he didn't find my shirts on that front page, that page that I give him, how are customers going to see your stuff? So I get comments about how big should my design be? Well, you got to design to your niche, but my general rule of thumb is bigger is better, is bolder. You know, more contrast. What Glen said, proper colors, proper layout. I mean, 90% of the stuff you see on merch is just absolute trash, and I'm not sure why people look at it anyway.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with just type shirts, but again, you know, we talked about typography in the past, right? Like, let me give you guys a good example. It's like I made a shirt that was, you know, just all text, but I did a lot of research going into it, like choosing the proper font and the shirts that I sell. And then, like, within a few days, there's like freaking 50 other shirts just like it, but they're just using random fonts. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You guys are trying to copy my shirts, but at least have the common decency to at least do some research. I mean, there's a reason why I chose that font, right? But they're like just choosing random stuff, and I'm like, there's a reason why your stuff isn't selling. And you know that, Ken, from your sign business,
of course,
right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Good stuff and bad stuff, and there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about designing, so I have no 2 cents to put in there.
Hey, RJ was talking about how he was a designer since he got the overwrap, so I don't want to hear that.
Nah, just they said basically they said go to Google, screenshot, and turn up the contrast on the edit part, and then you got a good design. That's it.
Done and done.
So what, Glenn, when it comes to picking out like the designs that you're doing, what are you doing for research? Is it more like just stuff that you see during your everyday, or are you doing stuff, you know, searching on Merch Informer for Amazon? You're just doing stuff that you want to do?
I try to do like a good mix of like, I want to go like deeper into certain niches to make sure I always have those, like, it's like a mixture between those and then of course like the trending ones. So when the trending ones, when the trade, you know, like that trend kind of fades out, then I have the ones in the back already from certain, you know, niches, and trying to like combine certain ones that, you know, like, I know a lot of people have birthday and teachers and very generic, but when you start crossing, you have like, you know, a specific target that you're looking for, then those are the ones seem to be doing a lot better compared to just like a general teacher shirt.
Right.
So trying to like do the niches and cross niches and then mix with the trending designs. And I never really used to do like a lot of like Merch Informer in the beginning. I think I didn't use it for like a whole like year or something. And when I did, I was like, opened my eyes like a totally different thing. So now really going into just like the trending part of it, I'll use Merch Informer for that. But for the niches, we kind of just kind of have my own list. I want to just go back and forth and kind of like, you know, mess around with stuff and see.
Right. Now, Ken, like, I know that you say sometimes you have a hard time doing trends, but I also know that like you've crushed a couple of them since I've known you. Like, are you just taking something out of the news? Like, how are you finding those trends?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, it's being a dick to merch. I mean, look at Yahoo is a good one. It's funny how much news comes up on Yahoo that's kind of different than other news. BuzzFeed, I mean, just Google Trends. Click on your Facebook Trends. It's just having the ability to pull out a stupid phrase that's made or something you see on the street or just that you get an inkling for. Like, I'll tell you, solar eclipse was just kind of I got a funny feeling that might take off because here I'm at a coffee shop and people are talking about the eclipse, and Walmart's got a big rack of glasses going up, and I'm like, I go check merch, and it's wow, there's 10 designs here. This could be interesting. Of course, the rest is history, but it's anything. Like last year, I crushed it pretty good with St. Patrick's Day. This year, not so much, but hey. You know, like I said, it's hooks in the water. If you don't buy the Powerball ticket, you're never going to hit the Powerball, and that's what things are about.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't take a swing, you can't put the ball in play.
Yeah. So, Glenn, what's your pricing strategy? How do you go about all this stuff? Like when you list something on merch?
Even when I first started, I was always around kind of like the $17.99 range, and then until me and Yong were talking more and more, he's like, "Dude, it's too cheap, $19.99 and over." And at first I was like, nah, we'll see. And then now I'm just like, with the price, total difference now is like $5.35 or whatever you're making. I was like, yeah, I got to go $19.99 and above. So now I'm like really trying to increase the prices on everything.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I've been having a lot of shirts that have been selling at $22.99, and they've been selling. So
$22.99 standard.
Standard.
Jeez.
And then I have a premium too at $21.99. I'm pretty sure Ken has some at $36.99 standard shirts.
My first 10 shirts on merch were $36.99 that sold.
Oh,
my first sales, I thought $30 to $40 was a good price. So something they sold.
Wow.
All right. Well, apparently I'm gonna have to list some shirts at 40.
Well, not anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What do you what do you list the prices at now?
Me?
Ken?
I'm holding a line with about 3/4 of mine. It's $19.99. I've pushed a few of them up into the higher range to maintain the margin from before the royalty drop. But right now I'm there's too many, as I see it, glitches going on. You just came through Q4. Got all kinds of stuff happening with merch, with search, with AMS, and I'm just kind of saying, hey, I'll take my lumps, and I just want to keep my BSRs, keep my sales, and then I'll start jacking them up from there. So,
gotcha. Now, are you guys doing anything on AMS? Glen, Yong, Ken?
I am.
Yeah, I do AMS.
Yeah.
I was doing up till I think I had like, I don't know, 300 or 400 like ads, and then it just like completely froze. Like I couldn't even do anything anymore. And then I was just like, man, I got frustrated with it. And then now they're just like there, and I was like, I didn't even get that many compared to like the Jersey guys. That's probably why it froze.
Those guys were ridiculous with it, man.
Yeah, you don't want to see Anthony's dashboard. Like it takes him 45 minutes for that thing to even like load. His entire computer freezes.
I was sitting next to him at the conference, and then he pulls up his AMS. He's like, check this out, man. I got like 7,500 ads going. I was like, how much are you spending? He's all, want to see? I was like, no, it's okay. But he's pretty open. He showed me like his top selling design. I was like, man, I don't want to show him my top selling design, but wait up. And then he showed it to me, and I was like, you know what? Here you go. So,
and we got Glen coming out to Glendale for a meetup. Was it next week, Glen?
No,
I mean, Yong. I'm sorry, Yong.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go see if we can get Glen to come out for it.
No, I asked him.
What was his response? Glen, what was your response?
I am gonna go. I'm supposed to go to Miami and Tampa next month, and then so I told him like I got to see the flights on it. I know I checked; it wasn't too bad, but I gotta double check. I gotta see.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's such a short flight for me. I'm within an hour, I'll be there. So and I told you guys my parents live in Orange County, so I'm down that way pretty often. So. So whenever I'm down there, I'll definitely let you guys know in advance.
Have you stayed at an Airbnb before?
Oh yeah, man. I'm like, dude, man, I stayed with an Airbnb with Glen a couple of times now. Dude's always coming in my room and farting on my bed for some reason.
Dude, fart on his pillow. Like right before he sleeps on it.
Like, yo, dude, that's just wrong. And then the next morning I woke up early so I could get him back. I was trying to go into his room and he had his door locked. I'm like, why are you locking your door, dog?
You trying to bring some wine into his room?
Something, huh?
Nah. Okay. Let's want to get into these questions.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Throw some questions up in the chat. Let's see. We probably got some in here, anyways.
If you guys got any questions, let's get them asked. There was one. Oh, there was one in the actual Facebook group, wasn't there?
Do not know.
I can't see the questions, so you're gonna have to let us know.
Yeah, we'll read them off to you.
Okay.
Must be nice.
I know.
Are you sitting at your computer desk, Young?
Yeah, man. You think I'm on the toilet or something? What do you think I'm
I don't know with you, bro. Like, I'm looking at this picture of you, like, in a closet somewhere.
It's cooking. You cooking in the kitchen right now? That's why you can't get on the...
No, man. Dude, every time I mute myself, I'm sneezing.
Okay.
Here's a good question. Neil from Merch Informer sold his merch business on Empire Flippers. Curious if any of you guys see yourself selling your merch business in the future.
Dude, I've been trying to get Glen to sell his. No, seriously,
not with
right?
his Black Panther shirts, you're not.
No, this is what I told Glen. I was like, dude, why don't you sell your account and then have Gigi, his wife, open up another account? That's what I told him.
And then I had my friend also had it. So my friend had an account. That's why we thought about the IP thing, because he came over and then we logged into his account. We were like, working on his. And then when I first started thinking about selling it, I was thinking about selling it at like the highest point when I was doing the best. And then after that, the numbers are just like slowly like going down, and then they went back up and then down again. But if you would have sold it probably like when Neil first sold some of the other ones, I think you probably got more than you'd maybe get now if it's, somewhat just making it, or a little bit less. But
I'll sell you mine.
Yeah, how much is that going to cost?
Hey, you probably don't want to hear the number.
My account's for sale right now, 500,000 cash.
Well, then mine just went to 750.
800.
Oh man. Okay, so when you guys find a new niche, how many different designs do you upload to that new niche?
That's a good question for Ken.
50 to 100.
50 to 100. Glenn, you want in on this?
I think I had like 100 something of the St. Patrick's Day shirts. So I try to do like around the same amount.
Okay.
Gotcha. What about you, RJ?
You're next, and then you come back.
I stole
All right. I don't know. It all depends. I've been with trends and stuff like that. I just hit like a lot of it. Like I hit I'm wide open. Like I'm different. It's really hard to say. I probably do like 20 or 30.
20 or 30 on trends, or 20 or 30 on a niche?
On a niche.
Okay, so on trends, like what are you putting up?
Right now, I'm probably like at 500 for Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's probably about where we are too.
I need to do 1,000. I need to do 1,000. I'm trying to hit 1,000. So.
Yeah, I bet you Bo's probably over 2,000 already. Crazy. Yeah, we typically try and go pretty deep. That's one of the big changes we made going into 2018 after talking to Ken and some other sailors is we were a little bit too wide in what we did. We had a bunch of designs across a bunch of different niches. So we're going really, really deep. We're hammering the things that we're going after. We've basically narrowed down our focus to about 10 to 15 different niches that we know really well, we understand, and we're putting 100 to 200 designs into those.
Yeah. And also too, guys, don't think like we're designing that on our own. Like we actually have VAs helping us like make the designs and stuff like that so we can upload. So
speak for yourself.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Ken to speak. Trying to get him to speak over there.
I've done lots of talking.
I know. I
answer some messages.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what else.
Yeah, let me find another question. Work-life balance. Let's hear this one. This will be interesting. What's your work-life balance, Young? Take it off mute.
Sneezing right now. He's all rolling around on the ground.
Young, do we need to check on you?
Oh, you guys are just being silly. Nah, man, I'm all about the whole work-life balance. I've traveled a lot over the years, and that's one of my passions. I love traveling.
What about you, Glenn?
Does that mean work-life balance or no?
Hmm? Well, I mean, what do you consider life for some of you, right? I'm very passionate about traveling, right? Like I've been places some people can only dream about, right? Like I've been to the Philippines twice, right? I've been to Thailand. I've been to Mexico. That's what I enjoy.
Want to go to Dallas this weekend?
Ken, I would love to go to Dallas with you this weekend. Is that an open invitation?
If you were my son.
Dude, of course I'm your son.
You have to call him Papi, though.
Hi, Papi. Hi, Papi.
Oh, man. This is going to be a really good podcast.
Hey, speaking of that, dude, time out, man. I want to take a little left turn here, man. I freaking texted RJ last week, right? I'm like, and that was the first time I texted him, and he didn't know my number. I was like, "Hey, Papi, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, who's this?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm such and such, and I met you at the bar last week." And he totally fell for it.
Try and get you to go take him to sushi.
Oh, dude, it was the funniest thing ever.
Man, and then he called me. I was like, if you're a girl and you call me, I'm not gonna answer this.
If a girl calls you, why don't you answer the phone?
I got time right now. I'll call her back when I'm done.
All right, I see. But yes, Ken, I would love to go to Dallas with you. Next time you go, let me know.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
Unless Ken was calling me, then I'll answer it right away. What's up, Ken? But
just be like, I'm bringing my son. I'm bringing my my 12-year-old son.
That shaves.
What
about part of the Dollar Shave Club? Don't worry about it.
What about you, Glenn? What's work-life balance mean to you?
I think it's just like having just like having fun and what you like to do, just going all in on that passion. Like even though I'm still like shipping stuff at night or working on merch, like now or whatever, make sure the wife gets time. So, happy wife, happy life. And then do my own, business and work stuff. And she's all cool about it as long as there's the income coming in, no complaints there. So, and just going all in on what you want to do, because if you're just stuck doing the same old thing and then of course not making any other money, like I remember just, working the full-time job that I had, I got the 3% raise every year. I couldn't move up. I couldn't do anything else. I was like, marketing coordinator there. And I was just like, just stuck. So I started getting into other things and building up the channel and I'm just kind of off topic, but like building up merch, same thing, building up YouTube and everything else that you might want to do. All of it's going to be, nothing but work and failures in the beginning. And maybe things aren't going your way in the very beginning. I remember making a YouTube channel. I was like, all right, well, no one's watching. Like, your first video or 2 videos. Are you going to keep on going or are you going to quit? Like if you make your first 10 shirts and no one's buying it, you're going to keep on going, you're going to quit too. Like right. I see them very, very similar as far as putting the work in. And I get a lot of similar questions. Like it usually comes down to like the first couple of shirts made or YouTube or something. And then you never really hear from them again. So kind of random, but I wanted to throw that in.
No, that's good.
That's good.
What about you, Ken? I know what your idea of work-life balance is.
I needed to get away from the whole 9 to 5 thing. I mean, the grind and the overtime and, managing people, managing employees. I'll never go back to being my own boss, away from being my own boss right now.
At what point did you say enough is enough, Ken?
There got to a point when I was managing in the oil field where I was dealing with an executive that anything good I did, he took the credit for, and anything remotely bad, I got the goat horns. And it got to the point where I wasn't going to let him find a way to get rid of me. You want to get rid of me, buy me out. And I had enough of that corporate thing. And so when an opportunity to run my own business came along, I'm sure glad I did. So
yeah. No, I'm trying to get there, but at the same time, though, it's like I love my job, though.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah. So,
Was it okay? There was a question. Would you know, Ken, when pop sockets are coming out, or even Glen or Young? You guys, anybody know?
I don't know when they're coming, but somebody asked a question about are there different size requirements, and yes, there are. The other thing I'll tell you is that pop sockets and cell phones are not T-shirts. They design different, and they sell to different people.
There you go. There's your.
I have a question. Any chance of tank tops coming out this year, Ken? Is that something you can answer, or something you know?
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I may have more answers after the weekend. I don't know.
Don't answer that.
Blink twice if it's a yes, Ken.
Oh man.
3C on the road is saying something that's BS. What's he saying that from?
That's BS. We can only wish on tape. Uh-oh. Guys, don't get Ken mad. God.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I got.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know about tanks. I do know there's stuff being tested. I do also know that merch is looking at new technologies as well. So.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So, manual or auto for AMS campaigns, everybody?
Both.
I'm just doing auto.
I always done the auto.
Yeah, I just do auto as well.
If I'm spending a lot of money on a trend I'm going after, I'm focused on doing my own manual stuff.
So here's the thing: when you start off with an auto ad and you're bringing in keywords. After a while, you're going to run that thing for long enough that you're going to see which keywords convert. If you take those and you put them into a manual ad, you'll find out that your ACOS is going to go down quite a bit if you set it up with phrase match and with exact match. It's just a part of, you're basically creating a funnel. Like the auto ad is a wide funnel. It's got a really wide neck. Everything comes into it. A manual ad tightens it down more, and it makes it more concise. You're not spending money on terms that aren't converting.
There you go. I'm trying to figure out who's a merch maniac.
I have no idea.
You know who that is? Okay. Who are you? Who are you?
What are they saying?
Nothing. He knows what he's saying. I know what he's saying. All right, let's see any more questions. So are you
AMS? Somebody's mentioning that AMS is shut down. AMS is not shut down.
Yeah, it's still open.
No, I think
they had some errors this afternoon.
Yeah, I was going to say they had some glitches earlier today where it was down for about a half an hour, but
I had about 24 people ask me and freak out that the accounts have been deleted and was my account deleted. I'm like, nah, just hold on. I saw somebody say they got a response back from an Amazon rep that AMS is not being nuked, Vendor Express is. So it's kind of, if you're a lucky one that's in with AMS, you're still going to be able to put up ads.
Oh, nice.
But we'll see.
All right, let's get this. Anybody? Okay, so what other? So no one else is on any other PODs, right? Any other pods? Glen,
I'm on Redbubble. Well, we've been testing that whole beta thing, and so yeah, I am on the other platforms. Did you guys hear my story about was it Cafe Press rejecting one of my designs?
Yeah, did you ever find out what was going on with that?
I have no idea, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even care.
Well,
right?
yeah.
It's like no one shops on Cafe Press, but
I've sold 2 shirts on there.
Oh, did you really? But I showed Glen my design, and he was like, "What's the problem?" It's like, "Why they reject you?" I'm like, "I have no freaking idea."
It's just a Black Panther shirt. I was like,
"Yeah," and it wasn't. It was like the Pink Panther, but I made him black.
Oh man!
Oh, you know what? I haven't checked Sunfrog in like 6 months.
Oh, come on, Ken! Big numbers.
Let's see what we got on Sunfrog right now.
I got a $5,000 paycheck for him.
I ignore Teespring like this too, and it's like, oh, I got to check Teespring. I haven't been there for 2 weeks. It's like, oh wow, an extra $250. This is cool. Let's see what Sunfrog's got for me.
Glen, so are you on any other print on demand?
I started getting into the Etsy Printful thing, and then I just haven't really uploaded anything new. So right now it's pretty much, merch, and then YouTube and eBay is kind of like the side stuff. So no other ones.
Hey, I think the Amazon Printful integration though has big potential.
Yeah,
I really do.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that has huge potential.
If you're not looking at it right now, you really should be.
Yeah, no, because I've started uploading more designs, and I'm slowly starting to see sales come in. I mean, I'm not making tons of money, but the sales are slowly starting to roll in.
Gonna get returns and make me wear Razorbacks to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I think that has a huge potential. So you guys should look into it.
Okay, let's see other questions. Anyone else licensed besides Ken?
When is the big merch by Amazon secret being revealed? Eric Rosner wants to know.
What's the secret?
I don't know. That's my question.
I don't even. Anthony keeps talking about that. I don't know what he's talking about.
I see a few people talking about like zip lips, like they've got some secret going around, and I don't know. I got a few secrets, but I'll back up. There is something that's probably coming, but it's not what people expect. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So,
it's a moment of silence.
That's all I can say.
We're just waiting for Ken to say something else. Let him keep talking. Don't stop.
I'm just trying to think what it is.
Feed him beers. Get him drunk. Let him talk.
I'm just trying to think what it is.
Okay, let's see.
See, look at Yong keeping a straight face on this one.
Dude, my emotion doesn't change.
Did I mention it to you?
I'm like a cyborg. Huh?
Okay. Did I mention it to you?
I don't know. I told
No,
Ken,
I didn't. Okay.
I promised Ken I wasn't going to say a word.
No, I mean I'm not going to betray trust. I've got some contacts, and
we're definitely
there's stuff I'm going to say, and there's stuff I'm not. Or we're getting nothing out of merch stuff.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
We're definitely getting an Airbnb now. He likes
oh, you little freak.
He likes jalapeno peppers too, so we're good.
All right. So here's a
jalapeno poppers, not peppers, man.
Oh, sorry, poppers.
Here's a question for you guys that Jack Browning wants to know. Any tips for those of us who hit a tier, things slow down, we get sort of stuck? He's on tier 100, he's dying to get 500, but he's just under 50 sold. So, like, when things slow down for you guys, is there something that you guys look to? Like, where do you go back to in terms of, fundamentals, like niches that you go after? Do they never get stuck?
Oh, they get stuck. I've got good sellers. Reevaluate your niche. Look at it. See what else is coming in. Because a lot of times it tells you, let's put all of the glitchy search Q4 crap aside. Mm-hmm. Let's just look at regular merch. You'll have good sellers, and you'll rely on. I've seen sellers that'll sell 2, 3, 4 a day and have for over a year, and all of a sudden they start dropping off, and you realize, oh, where'd the sales go? And you go and look, and somebody's done a better job at the niche. There's all of a sudden a new set of 10 or 20 shirts that are starting to take the sales. You got to stay on top of it. You got to protect it. You got to, go change your keywords. Go look for better designs. Go try a different kind of design. Go put something under a different brand. As I said, compete with yourself. Don't get frustrated. All of us get burned out. I'll tell you that right now. I get burned out and I just walk away from merch for 2 or 3 weeks from uploading and things like that, and just go mess around on the internet, ask questions. But it's frustrating, and it's a grind. It really is a grind at the beginning. But to me, it's a fun grind. So,
how many of you guys have actually gone out and gotten business and ran it to your merch account through a private listing?
I have.
Yeah, I know you. I knew Ken would have done that. Have you done that, Yong? Or have you done it, Glen?
We've done it for the family business. So we've had just different businesses order I think one of them ordered 55 shirts or something like that, and they needed it by a certain day. And of course, it was a crazy full color design, so merch just came super in handy on that. So it's we got those in, the orders in, and of course we priced them what we wanted, and they paid, and everything was good. No complaints on quality, no complaints on anything like that. So it went good for the times. I think I've only done it maybe 2 or 3 different times.
Yong, what about you?
No, I haven't. Something I should definitely look into though.
I think it's a gigantic white space that most of us ignore. Like I've been thinking about it too. It's just like the opportunity to go out there and go to a business and go, hey, I can take care of this problem for you. Like it's just built-in traffic that you're not competing with anybody else.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
If anybody follows Mike Gall or figures out his tricks and secrets, Mike Gall is the one that's crushing it at this kind of thing.
I never even heard of him. Okay.
He's the 7-figure guy.
Wow.
Now I'm not sure what side of that is pure royalty profit, but I know he's the one that's gone knocking on doors. He took the idea of going up to businesses, knocking on doors, working out deals where they're selling merch out of their store right on the merch store and things like that. I don't know the full details of it, but he's crushing it. There's a little more knocking on doors to be done, but he's
sounds like
killing it that way.
Sounds like there's a lot of paperwork involved, though.
I think so. You know, but merch just needs to be looked at different ways. Like some people are focused one way, and others are realizing they can go hit every local pizza shop in their neighborhood and get them all buying merch shirts. So,
yeah, absolutely. Now, there's like a dozen ways you can approach this business, right?
So, okay, what was the question there? Okay, other ways to advertise your shirts without AMS ads.
I'm laughing because isn't that what we just talked about this past Monday?
Yeah.
Yep. So, first of all, let me just tell you guys right now, those that's watching, if you guys don't have like a little mastermind group amongst yourselves, just go ahead and create one because you guys are going to learn so much from each other. So all of us here, I don't know if Glen's a part of it, but all of us here, we're part of like a little mastermind. We just had our first little live hangout this past Monday. It was very productive. I learned a lot. But to answer the question, I don't know. I mean, is that something that we want to share? Because we kind of talked it amongst ourselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a basic overview, I mean, I think is a lot of that stuff is out there in the public in terms of, you know, Pinterest is a great way to start, like, you know, building out Pinterest boards, that kind of stuff is stuff that we talked about. There's no real secret. A lot of it is just, you know, brainstorming back and forth in terms of how do you find ways to get eyeballs on your shirts.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we talked about influencer marketing and whatnot. So there's a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. All right. Let's see any more questions. Oh, there's another question about the merch dojo.
What about it?
Yeah.
What is it? Because there's people coming on barely for Glen and Yong, so they want to know what is merch dojo.
It's a 4-week training course for merch. It'll take you right through from what is merch. Like most people, as I talked earlier, don't know what merch is. 90% of people on the street have no clue what you're talking about. Yeah. Think of yourself being on the street and learning how to go all the way to being able to license something. And that's Merch Dojo. And it's going to be a group for people that sign up that you know, they're going to have interaction with myself, with Neil Lassen. He's another one that's in there. Matt Cartlett's in there. You're going to have direct conversations with us, and we'll answer your questions directly. So,
Sifu Ken.
Yeah.
Sifu Ken. Is it free? No, it's not going to be free.
No, it's not.
They're going to have some of the top guys in the game in there, and they're going to be helping you guys and coaching you guys along the way.
Now, something I want to just mention about this, I saw a comment today that was quite common. They said, well, all this info you can find on Google search or in the Facebook groups or on YouTube. I said, good, go find it. Or I can make a course. You know, I'll go put this all together. Go make a course.
Right.
Or go be brand new on the street that does not know how to even make a T-shirt or even how T-shirts are made, and go start Googling it and see how long it takes you to figure this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've had someone respond to me for that typography ebook that I wrote.
Yeah.
He responded saying, "Oh, I could have just looked this up on the internet." I'm like, "Do it." I'm like, you know what? I had to pay. When I was in college, I had to pay for those notes. I paid like $1,200 for those notes. So just whatever. I mean, and all that nonsense in that Facebook group today, that's stupid. It's look, if you guys want to learn from the best, definitely look into Merch Dojo. I mean, Ken and Neil and Chris. I mean, these guys are top players, man.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an interesting one that scrolled by today. Somebody said, ask Chris what his daily sales were for the 7-day. And I almost responded. You know what I was going to say? Here's a better question. Ask Chris for his daily private chat log with the director of merch.
Right.
You know, networking is just so huge.
Yes.
You know, if you're good, I use a good example, trademarks. You know, the Watchdogs deal. You know, I've got the Watchdogs thing, trying to fight back on frivolous trademarks. So many people sit on their hands and complain about these trademarks. Here's a nugget. Have you guys ever thought to just go license those trademarks that are pissing you off and taking all your shirts down? We'll handle the frivolous stuff down the road. We'll change the industry. But for right now, are you making money off of those trademarks because you went and licensed them? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm being scolded right now by Ken.
But do you guys understand what I'm saying, though, right?
No, we totally get what you're saying.
If Birthday Girl just took down 100 of your shirts, go contact Birthday Girl and say, can I pay your royalty to get my shirts out?
Mm-hmm.
So the day of sitting and complaining is gone. Don't sit on your hands and complain. Deal with the now and look what you're making money with, and then also be working other things. Like I license stuff. And as much as I hate what they're doing, I'll license it. And on the side, I'm working Merch Watchdogs to try and change the industry. I'm talking to the USPTO, talking to staff attorneys. I want the industry changed. I want these guys brought down. But I'm not going to sit for 6 months or 2 years until that's taken down and things have changed. I'm making my money now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, too, have you heard anything at all about any like bulk uploading or any like editing prices or anything like that, Ken?
That's one of the questions I'll ask them. But the bulk side of it, what I've heard is it comes down to trusting the people with the API.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know. I think we're just too young a community. I mean, let's compare it to FBA. How long's FBA been around?
Oh,
they still have their problems. Think of FBA 2 years into it.
Yeah, I mean, merch has its own set of problems too. That are specific to the fact that it's print on demand. It's not a physical product. So, you know, when you introduce an API, I mean, that was my question I asked you was about an API. But like, I understand the difficulties. Like, you introduce an API and you're dealing with people from Vietnam that are really good about getting around things already. It can open up a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
So, all right,
hey, Ken, when you go, I have something you can ask him. This is something that I always screw up on. This is like when we upload a design, if there's a way we can go in and change it because we realize we made a mistake.
No,
there's absolutely no way they can.
You mean once you've hit the upload button and it's going live or in processing?
Yeah, it's just in processing. Like, can we sometime in the near future? No, you don't think so?
Oh, in the future?
Yeah.
I know one thing that we were talking about in one of my little secret circles. I don't know if Hamza's still with us or not. Props out to Merch Tools. He's got some stuff coming out on that. Hamza, I think he was talking about the survey, of course, today. Everybody see the survey?
I did submit the survey.
What were they asking?
That's a good question. I completely forgot.
Oh,
they're uploading everything at once. It's a one-shot upload.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to do an upload and you're going to pick all of your radio buttons. This is the way I see it, and it's going to list all the stuff under the listing. And the customer
that's right.
Do they want a hoodie or do they want a shirt? And do you want one email telling you that the shirt went live or one email for everything? So the surveys give you some idea what they're looking at, what they're gauging the community with. The other thing I will say is that as much as you get these newbie comments in some of the big Facebook groups, Chris's group, there are people that read the comments in that group, and I'm talking about merch people. So,
yeah, cool.
All right, so we're coming to an end right now. Unless you guys have anything else to say, I wanted to give away this $100. We're gonna pick 5 people.
Oh,
$100.
Yeah.
You give away $100?
Yeah, hey, my YouTube channel made $100 this month. I want to give it back to the community. There you go.
He told me he's paying everybody $100 to be on the show.
Sign me up, man.
You guys go spend it at any of these design websites. You want to, you know what I mean? So, All right.
How we doing this?
I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one in the. Well, you can't pick nothing. You're not even. Are you at the computer?
Man, no, I'm talking to you freaking
through the phone, right?
No, I'm talking to you through my damn shoe.
You're on your phone, ain't you? You can't see the comments in the YouTube. Go to your computer.
I'm not on my phone. Dude, I'm on my damn computer.
Let's see. Selfie. Come on, turn the camera on. Let's see.
Dude, give me $100, man. Give me $100.
All right, everybody in the comments just say, I don't know. I hate Young. There you go.
Why are you gonna go there, man? Why are you gonna go there, especially when I'm sick?
I'm gonna pick one, and then Matt's gonna pick one. And
I'll pick one.
Glen's gonna pick. Okay, all right. And Glen's gonna pick one, and then I'm not sure how I'm gonna get all your information. I need your email so I can PayPal you $20.
Just message you on Facebook.
There you go. Message me on Facebook. If you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Matt. He'll send you $20 too. All right, let's see. There was one I had in mind earlier. I was looking at. Commenting. Let's go. Who is in here? I'm trying to see who's been. Let's go. I'll pick Richard B. Richard B. Send me or message me on Facebook after this. Send me your email.
Who's the biggest fan of Merch Fairy? There you go.
That's not coming.
You know what? Maybe I should just go to YouTube and look at some of these comments.
So he's getting up off the couch right now. I told you. Lying.
Putting down his shoe.
Uh-huh. He didn't want to step on the cold floor in the kitchen, so he's putting on.
Settle down. Settle down. Okay.
There we go. Now we got the Merch Fairies coming out. Here we go. Now the first one to post a link to themselves in a mankini wins.
Oh wow.
Oh man. You're welcome, Richard. Thank you for watching, man. I appreciate you. Waiting on Ken to pick his.
Oh, I have to pick somebody?
Uh-huh.
Oh, let's see. Who's Red Moon Rising. Who's that?
Redwood Rising.
Red Moon Rising.
Red Moon Rising 24.
Message RJ. Somebody messaged him. That was quick. They wanted their money.
Go ahead, Glenn.
If someone knows what the last episode, what number we were on Merch Minds, let me know in the chat. Our last episode was number what? I guess the first number I see it. Look at their $20. There we go. Looks like Don something. He put 73.
Don.
Cool.
Message me on Facebook after Adon, please. Thank you. All right, Matt.
Let Young go. Let Young pick. I'll go last.
Young.
I picked Young. No, okay. Here, let's be serious here. First person to guess my age.
12. You're my son. You're 14.
Oh, you guys were so close.
How old is Young? Stanford. 42, 22.
587.
Oh my gosh, this is going super fast. Jesus.
Now he's at his computer. He was laying on a couch earlier.
Hey, settle down, okay? I was in front of the computer, man. I don't see the right number. Let's see.
I seen a 54.
I saw 57.
57.
I saw a question though, Young. Do you use that picture for Tinder?
3C on the road. 3C on the road. You just won. No, I use it for Grinder.
He's all serious. What was it? Greasy Ho?
Who?
Who? What'd she say?
3C on the road.
Oh, 3C. Okay. I thought you said greasy on the road.
Oh my god.
All right, let's pick the last one. Let's pick the last one. One more.
Last one. I'm just gonna go random. I'm just gonna scroll up until it stops.
Okay, cool.
It's a hell of a scroll.
It is a hell of a scroll. JL. That's just JL with a period.
JL with the period. Message me on Facebook. RJ Martinez. He's wearing a decent Mexican shirt. Link in the description if you guys want to buy it after. I'm just kidding. All right. So we have 5 people. Please message me on Facebook after this, and then I'm gonna PayPal you $20. Winner chicken dinner. All right,
thank you guys.
That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. Glen, Yong, Ken, thank you. Hour and 40 minutes you stayed on here with us. I appreciate that, Ken.
Oh wow. Soldier.
Let's go upload.
Okay.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys.